Thank you very much for coming along this evening. I'm going to tell you a story about a frog and a crow. Crow was sitting high up in a tree looking for her dinner when she spied a big juicy frog in the tall grass. So she flew down out of the tree and picked the frog up in her beak and flew up onto the roof of a nearby house. She put Frog onto the roof and she put Claw onto Frog just to stop her from escaping. She was just about to eat that frog up for her dinner when she heard She looked around to see who was laughing, but there was nobody there. So she turned back to Frog and was about to eat Frog up again when she heard and she looked down. She couldn't believe it. It was Frog who was laughing. "Oh, Sister Frog," said Crow, "why are you laughing? After all, I'm about to eat you all up for my dinner." "Oh, don't you worry about me," said Frog. "You just do what you have to do, Ribbit." "No," said Crow, "I need to know why you're laughing." "I'm laughing," said Frog, "because you brought me to the place where my mother lives. And my mother is a big frog, and if she thought you were going to eat me, or even hurt me, you would be in big trouble." "Ah!" Crow didn't want that. So she picked up Frog in her beak and she flew along the roof of the house until she came to the chimney. She landed on the chimney. She put Frog onto the chimney and she put Claw onto Frog just to stop her from escaping. She was just about to eat Frog for her dinner when she heard and she looked down and there was Frog laughing again. "Sister Frog," said Crow, "why are you laughing now?" "I'm laughing now," said Frog, "because you moved me from that last place, because that was where my mother lived. And you brought me to the very place where my uncle lives. And my uncle is twice as big as my mother, and you would be in twice as much trouble." "Ah!" Crow didn't want that. So she picked up Frog in her beak and she flew down off of the house, roof of the house, over the gardens, over the hedges, over the fences, and over the walls, until she came to a garden where there was a stone well. She landed on the edge of the stone well and she put Frog onto the well and she put Claw onto Frog just to stop her from escaping. She was just about to eat Frog for her dinner when Frog put up a hand and said, "Excuse me, Sister Crow. I couldn't help noticing when you were carrying me in your beak. Your beak is very blunt. If you want to eat me, you should have a sharp beak." "Ah," said Crow, "that is a very good idea. So if you will go to that rock over there and sharpen your beak." So Crow flew across the garden to where there was a rock sticking out of the tall grass, and she began to sharpen her beak backwards and forwards, until at last it was as sharp as the edge of a very, very sharp knife. And then she flew back to the well where she had left Frog. What do you think? You said that without moving your lips. Yes, the frog was gone. You're absolutely right. So Crow began to look around the garden. She looked over here. There was no sign of Frog there. She looked over there. She looked all around the garden, and then she looked, down into the well. And there, swimming around in the water at the bottom of the well, was Frog. "Sister Frog," said Crow, "I was ever so worried when I came back and found you weren't here. I wonder if you wouldn't mind hopping up here so that I can eat you up for my dinner." "I'm terribly sorry," said Crow, "but the walls to this well are very tall and very slippery. If you want to eat me, you must come down here and get me." So Crow flew away and she never saw Frog again. And Frog swam away and she never saw Crow again. Frog and the Crow. Thank you.